it do? Come on. Come on. Come on. And what it do? Come on. Aye. Yeah. Oh, how's it feel? Real. Motherfucking deal. How's it feel? How you feel? Bring it for the floor, John. Walk with it. I walk with it. Doing times. I walk with it.
And that rest in peace, absolutely. And you know, and everybody has such a great respect for that man. Like, you know, it's one of the things that, you know, with all that you've heard about Shakir, I never can say I heard anything bad. Now we've heard talk, but I would say I heard anything bad.
Never.
Now, what is your take on his alleged suicide? I'm not sure that was confirmed or whatever. You know, his passing. What is your take on that? And how deep does that really go?
You know, something really was bothering Shakir, and it wasn't. You know, a lot of people say that it was the stress from the job. Mm-hmm. You know, Shakir went to Morehouse. First, he worked with Noontime, and then he went to Hitco. So I seen his incline. He didn't have no reason to be stressed about no music. I can walk away from this today, so it ain't gonna be the stress from the job.
Okay.
It wasn't my wife was cheating on me or my daughter, whatever. It wasn't that. Okay. So we're gonna outrule that. Matter of fact, when it first happened, my man who's in the book, V, was one of the first people that was there, and I'm talking to him on the phone, and he was actually broken, shaking all the way up. Like, absolutely. Why did Shakir do this to us? Right? I'm like, what happened? He's like, I'm like, yo, tell me, yo, what's going on? He was like, I don't know. I said, yo, Shakir just ain't gonna kill himself over anything. You know what I'm saying? So then when it happened, you break it down, and then you realize that something, his wife said it best, and everybody has to pay attention to the words, because words mean a lot.
Absolutely.
She said, I can't quote it word for word, but I could get it close. Shakir was not himself these past few months before he did this to himself.
What could it have been? What could it have been?
Obviously, he did something that wasn't supposed to have been done, and somebody was going to remind him about what was going on. And he was like, if you put this out, my wife is going to know. My kid is going to know. I heard the actual truth.
What is the truth?
See, the truth, like they said when they told you.
Come on, it'll set you free. It'll set you free.
The
truth will set you free.
Well, the truth is basically, if you look at what his wife said.
Yes.
His wife said it, and we're going to leave her words and let her words be the last word that represent him, because we're going to owe her that.
Got you.
Right? Whatever she want to let be out there, then we're going to take it and run with it. She said that he wasn't himself during these past days.
Do you think that we'll ever know?
Yeah, we do know now.
Well, no, I mean, when I say we, do you think the large portion of people will know?
Yeah, I believe eventually that, you know, once time goes by and, you know, the concern about it wears off, somebody's going to tell the truth or what really happened. It's bigger than this. Dancing with the Devil, that title, is not just calling Puff no devil. That's not it. The music industry, the whole industry, you put them all together, that every one of them, man. Or every one of them have their wicked ways. As time goes by and, you know, the concern about it wears off, somebody's going to tell the truth or what really happened. It's bigger than this. Dancing with the Devil, that title, is not just calling Puff no devil. That's not it. The music industry, the whole industry, you put them all together, that every one of them, man. Or every one of them have their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? And that book represented.
So was it good for you? Giant Unplugged, Couch.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinar?
Too trusting.
I had nothing to do with Alice.
And talent with President for Deaf, just to name a few. Then after leaving LaFace, he became the executive vice president, already may be privy to. And I want to talk about the relationship that Kim Porter had with Shakir Stewart. Now, for those of you who don't know who Shakir is, He was a powerful dude in the music industry. He was based out of Atlanta. In fact, he worked for LaFace Records, right? And he had a hand in signing Beyonce, Sierra, Young Jeezy, and Rick Ross. And that's just to name a few. Then after...
Oh, a bit tired. You don't know who this is? This is the brother Shakir Stewart. He was an A&R, a vice president for Def Jam, who they say committed suicide in 2008. And but the thing about it is that, you know, there's some similarities with his death. There's some similarities with another executive that we just talked about yesterday, Chris Lighty. And ironically enough, this is a small circle of people between Def Jam, Bad Boy executives, and like I was saying yesterday, I kept asking, the one thing I would ask any exec is, have you ever heard about any photos? Have you ever heard about Bambaataa and that book? Have you ever heard? I would ask all of them that because, you know, well, you just listen. Here we go. Let's listen.
After leaving LaFace, he became the executive vice president for Def Jam. So the brother had all sorts of skills and talent within the music industry. Now, Diddy and Kim started dating, and
see, this goes back to me saying the men aren't talking. The women are having civil suits, right? But the men, it's because the women are having civil suits. They're filing civil suits. They're winning civil suits or getting settlements from their civil suits. The men aren't talking. The men aren't talking. Check this out.
1994, and they already had their son Christian when Diddy decided to leave Kim Porter in 1999 and chase J-Lo, right? So Diddy and J-Lo, they dated for a couple of years, but their relationship came to an end in 2001. So when Diddy and J-Lo's relationship came to an end, Kim Porter had already moved on with her life, and naturally she started seeing other people. And one of those individuals that she was seeing was Shakir Stewart. Now, Diddy admitted he finally came to the conclusion that he was never going to get J-Lo back in 2001. So once that reality set in, that J-Lo was a done deal, then he went back to Kim Porter, right, and tried to court her, and he was ultimately successful. So when he got back with Kim, it was evident that Kim had been seeing other people, and I believe that he came across some text messages from Shakir. And so let me read to you all what a former ghostwriter for Diddy and Mark Curry had to say.
Now, keep in mind, both are dead. Kim Porter is dead. And who else? Shakir Stewart is dead. A big executive. But it gets further because he gets toppled pretty much from Def Jam. You know, it's not just die. It's like it gets interesting, but check it out.
About this situation that went down between Diddy and Shakir and Kim Porter. Now, I want to say this. Mark Curry wrote a book in 2009. I believe it was published, called Dancing with the Devil. And basically he was exposing all of the things that Diddy did to his artists, all the bad things, how he did Biggie and things of that nature. But let me go ahead and read to you this portion about the subject at hand. So he says, Puff ran into Kim on an island. Somehow he found out a phone message from Shakir to Kim. How are my babies doing? Shakir asked her on the message. When Puff realized Kim was doing fine without him, he was incensed. After summoning a couple of his bodyguards, Puff left the palace and went to Shakir's room at the hotel. He bammed on Shakir's door until he answered it. What the blank you doing leaving messages on Kim's cell phone? Puff raged. Where do you get off saying you the daddy of my kids? Shakir knew that Puff never confronted anyone without backup, so he was afraid to defend himself. Now, according to Mark, a physical confrontation took place and it didn't end well for Shakir. And also it's been noted that a situation went down between Diddy and Kim over this situation, and a doctor was flown out to actually reconstruct Kim's nose, where she says she accidentally fell and hit her face on the table. Now, I've been told that the two events are separate. They happen on separate occasions. I'm told that Diddy took Kim on a vacation and he confronted Kim about the situation again, and that's when their confrontation took place. Now, I want to talk about Kenny Burns, because Kenny Burns was close to Shakir Stewart as well, but he's also close to Diddy. Now, Diddy and Kenny's relationship go way back. I believe that when Biggie and Jay-Z first got on the scene, they would go down to DC because that's where Kenny is from, and Kenny would set up all these parties and, you know, performances by Jay-Z and Biggie and things of that nature. And then Diddy hired Kenny. And in fact, I believe Burns still serves as the senior vice president of brand development for Combs Enterprises. Now, I don't know if they're as tight as they once were, because recently the two of them had some political differences where Diddy actually ended up blocking Kenny. So I'm pretty sure that they still work together, but, you know, they're just on bad terms right now. But the one thing that is interesting about this whole dynamic is the fact that Kenny really does not believe the story of how Shakir left us prematurely. Now, in 2008, Shakir left us way too early, but it was ruled that Shakir pardoned himself by the hands of his own, if you catch my drift. Now, like I previously stated, Kenny did not believe that Shakir would do such a thing without setting up his family for the long haul. And he's been having doubts ever since this situation occurred. Now, I've been told, right, this is where the exclusive comes in, that during the time that Shakir and Kim were dating, that Kim was giving Shakir all types of information about the nature of her and Diddy's relationship, and that Shakir knew a lot and he knew too much. And Diddy didn't like that. And it was a lot of things that Kim should have kept to herself, according to Diddy, and she didn't. And he had very critical information in regards to the things that Diddy was doing behind the scenes. And Kim Porter confided in him about a lot of things that were off limits in Diddy's eyes. Now, it's also been expressed to me that even though Diddy put an end to Shakir and Kim's relationship, that Shakir and Kim kept in contact all the way up until he unfortunately left us. I'm told that there were conversations where Kim talked to Shakir about the fact that Biggie wanted out of his contract and Biggie was ready to leave Bad Boy, and that Diddy has expressed on many occasions that, you know, if he had anything to do with it, that Biggie was not going to walk away from his label and leave him high and dry. And so with Kim still communicating to Shakir behind the scenes, that really infuriated Diddy. And it's been said that Diddy warned Shakir in 2007, right? He warned him to stop all communications with Kim. And so, you know, I guess Shakir and Kim, they may have stopped talking, they may have not. But what I do know is that Shakir left us in 2008. So it seems that Diddy wanted his cake and he wanted to eat it too. So this is the thing about the situation. It's like he wanted to do what he wanted to do, right? But he wanted to keep Kim single and isolated because of the information that she had, right? His number one fear was that Kim was going to get into a relationship with a strong dude with strong character that would actually challenge him and that would stand behind her to the point where Kim felt comfortable to tell her truth. Now, you have to ask yourself, you know, why didn't Kim get married again?
Have you ever wondered, all these ads, why can't
is that her and Al B. Sure was married. You know, she never married Diddy. So you telling me that a beautiful woman of Kim's caliber couldn't find another man to want to marry her? Like, why didn't she get married? It's because Diddy kept feeding her all of this nonsense about the nature of the relationship and how things should be. And Kim kept believing that one day, maybe one day, that Diddy and her will find some common ground and that he will ultimately marry her. But I've been told that in the last year, Kim started to have her doubts again, and that Kim was looking to move from California because she really didn't like it out there. But she was torn because she didn't want to move her daughters, you know, again, away from Diddy, and Diddy would make her feel bad about that. And he will also confide in her about the fact that they need to stay together as a family, you know, to be a lot closer to one another, even though he was dating someone else. And so Kim was torn, but Kim ultimately wanted to move back to Georgia, is what I'm being told. I've also been told that she was looking at property in the area and that she was going to continue to write her book and things like that. And those are things that Diddy didn't like, you know. But I will say this. Kim passed on a lot of information, and you will be hearing from Kim Porter. Let me just put it out there like that. You will be hearing from Kim Porter. She passed on her information, and you will be hearing from Kim Porter. All right.
I'd like to give all glory and praise and honor unto the Most High, and we're gonna get into it, man. Today, what we're gonna be looking at, the story of this guy named Shakir Stewart. He was in the music industry, and he was an A&R, and those are basically like the guys that's responsible for going and searching out the talent and recruiting new artists to their label. And abruptly, he died abruptly. And they said it was suicide, and and it's horrible, man. But there was supposed to be a documentary coming out on this guy, but it got canceled. And they did the trailer for the documentary, and that's what we're gonna be watching today. This little short trailer, and in the trailer, they said things that pertains. It'll make your ears poke up. If you are a target individual, because we're going through the same thing. So we're gonna watch this trailer real quick, and we're gonna come back to it.
A kid from East Oakland ran Def Jam. Just a normal kid from East Oakland rose at the age of early 30s to run the top hip hop label in the world. Now, who could do that? Go to the street corner, talk to this cat. This how the deal gonna go. Wow. And then go to the boardroom and explain how the investment would make sense. Very few people got that skill. That's what really made Shake special.
Thank you. Now, unfortunately, L.A. Reid is in Atlanta tonight paying his last respects to Shakir Stewart, whose recent tragic death took away one of the lights of our world.
Shakir didn't kill himself. Shakir didn't kill himself. That's all I got to say on that.
Horrible police work was done around his death. And everyone just accepted that it was suicide. Anyone that really knows the man knows he's incapable of killing himself. There had to be something more to it. It goes a lot deeper than what we would ever understand.
Shakir loved LA. And I think LA loves Shakir too. But something fishy happened somewhere along that line, and shit got switched up.
I guess you could say there's probably a bunch of other stuff that we'll never know. The BMF stuff was rumored. The stuff about LA, ain't no telling what else he was going through. People I know there was talk that some people was trying to kill him or that new information.
He was being followed. Cars parked outside his house. His phone was being tapped. There's a lot of people in a position to gain, maybe not gain financially, but definitely gain. So who knows? It's still up there. I would like to know.
If I do find out what happened, it's gonna be some more dead bodies. Tell them that. Yeah, tell them I said that.
So you see, they said that he was being followed. They said his phone was being tapped. People was following him. Cars parked outside his apartment when he, or his house when he comes out. These are the same things that they do. We know they're tapping our phones. We know that they're watching us. They drive cars past our apartment complexes or houses every time we come outside. These are the things that we're doing. So me watching this little short trailer here. This documentary, like I said, it was canceled. I don't know why. It lets you know that, it was something deeper that happened to this guy, man. And, there was another guy that did an interview, and I want to play that real quick too, because look at this.
Shakir. I never can say I heard anything bad. Now, we've heard talk, but I would say I heard anything bad.
Never.
Now, what is your take on his alleged suicide? I'm not sure that was confirmed or whatever. His passing. What is your take on that, and how deep does that really go?
Something really was bothering Shakir, and it wasn't. A lot of people say that it was the stress from the job. Mm-hmm. Shakir went to Morehouse. First, he worked with Noontime, and then he went to Hitco. So I seen his incline. He didn't have no reason to be stressed about no music. I can walk away from this today, so it ain't gonna be the stress from the job.
Okay.
It wasn't my wife was cheating on me or my daughter, whatever. It wasn't that. So
Okay.
we're gonna outrule that. Matter of fact, when it first happened, my man who's in the book, V, was one of the first people that was there, and I'm talking to him on the phone, and he was actually broken, shaken all the way up. Like,
Absolutely.
why did Shakir do this to us? Right? I'm like, what happened? I'm like, yo, tell me, yo, what's going on? He was like, I don't know. I said, yo, Shakir, this ain't gonna kill itself over anything. You know what I'm saying? So then when it happened, you break it down, and then you realize that something, his wife said it best, and everybody has to pay attention to the words, because words mean a lot.
Absolutely.
She said, I can't quote it word for word, but I could get it close. Shakir was not himself these past few months before he did this to himself.
What could it have been? What could it have been?
Obviously, he did something that wasn't supposed to have been done, and somebody was going to remind him about what was going on. And he was like, if you put this out, my wife is going to know. My kid is going to know. I heard the actual truth.
What is the truth?
See, the truth, like they said when they told you.
Come on, it'll set you free. It'll set you free.
The
truth will set you free.
Well, the truth is basically, if you look at what his wife said.
Yes.
His wife said it, and we're gonna leave her words and let her words be the last word that represent him, because we're gonna owe her that.
Got you.
Right? Whatever she wanna let be out there, then we're gonna take it and run with that. She said that he wasn't himself during these past days.
Do you think that we'll ever know?
Yeah, we do know now.
Well, no. I mean, when I say we, do you think the large portion of people will know?
Yeah, I believe eventually that, once time goes by and, the concern about it wears off, somebody's going to tell the truth or what really happened. It's bigger than this. Dancing with the Devil, that title, is not just calling Puff no devil. That's not it. The music industry, the whole industry, you put them all together, that every one of them, man. Or every one of them have their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? And that book represented.
So I don't know, man. It seems like he got caught doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing, man. And they was like holding the dirt over his head. They said he wasn't himself. A lot of these guys, they know what's going on, bro. They know fully well what's going on, but they signed an oath to secrecy. They signed their soul over, man. And like I saying, this guy was in the industry, man. He was an A&R, and he was up there, So he had known, the rituals. He had to go through some type of rituals, man. He had to go through some type of rituals. So I don't know, man. And he died mysteriously, and this was a guy that also dated Kim Porter, which was Puff Daddy's wife, so he dated her, and she died mysteriously. Or they said it was pneumonia, which I don't believe. Like, you feel me? In 2018, I think they said she died of pneumonia. But one thing I found suspicious was, when she died, he, like P Diddy, I remember on his Instagram, he put up a bunch of pictures, trying to, in remembrance of his wife. It was like a collage, and one of the pictures, man, on the road, he was doing the one eye symbolism. And I said, let me bring that picture up real quick, because I saved it. So right here, he was doing the one eye symbolism. It was a whole bunch of pictures, and he chose this one, man, and like I said, you got to watch these guys there, because they think they're slick. It was a whole bunch of pictures, and you'll be swiping through, and it looks all good, and then you come to this one right here. And of course, the people gonna say, "Oh no, it's just a flash, and it just caught him at the wrong moment." No, but he chose this specifically. It's like I said, these guys operate through signs and symbolisms, man. He chose this one specifically, man. He's doing the one eye symbolism. That means he knew what was up, man. He knew what was up. So You know, these guys are exceedingly wicked, man. When you going around these guys and you're rubbing shoulders with them, and you're not a part of these groups, you can find yourself real quick, man, in a bundle. You know, if you're not a part of these groups, man, you know, all you got to do is say something wrong, or not even do nothing at all. I mean, you could just be minding your business, you know, and that's it. You know, so I don't know, man. You know, these guys, man, you know, they've done horrible things, you know, to achieve their riches and fame, man. You know, horrible things, man. So, and that's what you know, it comes back to them, bro. It comes back, man. You know.
Yeah. Okay. You know, even looking at this information, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all that, you know, that this circle is pretty small. That's the whole reason why, you know, I'm skeptical of the brother committing suicide, of course. But think about this for a second. Just think about this. Dating, you know, that's one thing, right? That's one element. Okay, fine. Somebody could be upset about that, right? But what could a man be so fearful? Do you believe this? Could a man be so fearful of someone else killing him that he kills himself over this? Do you think that it was just about that? Do you think that? Because I don't think it's just about that at all. I think that's just one of multiple things that's going on. One of multiple things. That's what my instinct tells me. You know, and of course that's just my instinct. You know, I don't have all of the evidences, and I'm not claiming to have all the evidences. But when you move in life, you also move on your instinct. You make choices based on your instinct. And I don't for 1 second think that it's simply just about Kim Porter, although it is hella ironic that they're both dead. And I'm not saying Puffy don't have nothing to do with it. That's not my point at all. But I'm just asking you, what do you think makes a man kill himself just if he thinks that someone else is going to do? That's not the answer. Being threatened to be killed, that's obviously not the answer. You don't kill yourself because you're being threatened to be killed. Not when you have a family, not when you have loved ones. Come on. You think that's the answer? It's the same thing with Chris Lighty. You think somebody with a family, just because he has a few problems, a successful, rich, you think they're going to kill themselves? That's the actual dream. You think they're going to kill themselves. So what could make them do that? You see, I don't know. Now, there's one other element to this. L.A. Reid canned this guy. He got a demotion just before this happened, just before his death, his untimely death. He got canned by L.A. Reid. And if you know L.A. Reid also had accusations. Let's dig them up. Let's look at just so everybody's clear about it. L.A. Reid. Now let's see here. Look at this. L.A. Reid, an American record executive, A&R representative, and record producer. He is the founder and served as co-chairman of Hitco Entertainment. He also previously served as the chairman and CEO of Epic Records. Epic Records? Okay. Island Def Jam, right? And the CEO of Arista. I mean, you see what I'm saying? These execs, Clive Davis, L.A. Reid, Sean Puffy Combs, they're all intertwined here. Now check this out. You know, now let me do like this. Control F. Accusations. Look at this. May 2017, it was announced Reid would exit his post at Epic Records following an accusation of unlawful behavior by a female co-worker. In response, Reid stated, "I'm proud of my track record promoting, supporting, uplifting women at every company I've ever run. Notwithstanding, if I ever said anything capable of being misinterpreted, I apologize." Okay, unreservedly. Yeah. Um, you know, I don't know. That seems to be a common situation going on. Accusations of this kind of stuff. Let me just do one other thing here for a second here. Google. Let me see exactly. Sexual assault and harassment. You see how they just in Wiki, they just say, make it sound like it's words. Okay. The Grammy-winning music executive Antonio Reid, who is known as LA and rose in the industry working with artists including Usher, TLC, has been accused of sexual assault and harassment. You see, that's two different things, sexual assault and harassment. In the lawsuit by Drew Dixon, who worked with Mr. Reid at Epic Records. The suit filed in a federal district court in Manhattan on Wednesday says that Mr. Reid, I wonder if he settled this. This is a suit, so that's civil. It didn't go criminal. The suit is filed in federal district court in Manhattan on Wednesday. Says that Mr. Reid, who was Mrs. Dixon's boss, look at this. You see this? Wait a second. The boss, starting in the mid-2000s, assaulted her twice. Now, if I'm correct, let me see here. Let me just pivot 2 seconds. I'm going to go to this one here. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. This is ironic. I believe this is the same person that Russell Simmons had an issue with too. Let me see. Dixon, LA Reid. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's just, yeah, I believe this has something to do with it here. 2 seconds. I'm about to cue it up, y'all. Let me see. I believe this is it. Let me just read a little further to see if it had Mr. Reid not respond to multiple requests for comment. Okay. Stepping back from the music industry was devastating. Miss Dixon, who facilitated the recording of a platinum soundtrack and several hit singles, said in the interview, "I have an opportunity now to seek some degree of accountability." Okay, that was settled apparently, or not settled, but now let's peep this. You see here? I believe. Oh no, this is not it. I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. Let me go back here. Sorry. How did I get that one? That's crazy. Hold on. 2 seconds, y'all. Let me go here to YouTube again. I just want to see if this is the same exact. Here we go. Right, here we go. It is. Let me pull it up here, y'all. It's coming. All right. Let me see. All right. There we go.
I always knew something was wrong with L.A. Reid since Justin Bieber came out. Y'all remember when Justin Bieber came out? L.A. Reid said, L.A. Reid remembers 14-year-old Justin Bieber was beautiful like a woman. L.A. Reid said that Justin Bieber's face was his star power and it was beautiful like a woman. And that was very rare for a man to be beautiful like a woman. So I believe Drew Dixon. So this expired Eminem head ass nigga L.A. Reid, his sexual assault crimes is coming up again, and I hope this time he literally pays for it, because Drew Dixon is back on the prowl, baby. Drew Dixon as of, well, this is not new, so let's not think that this came out today. Drew Dixon has accused L.A. Reid and Russell Simmons of sexual assault and rape for years, but now under the Adult Survivors.
You see, these are the same folks, y'all. These are the same folks. This is a very small circle, I'm telling you. And like I was getting into yesterday, when you look at some of the tactics these people are employing, you got to ask them, where did they get these tactics from? And you got to wonder, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? You know, one other thing I want people to think about here is that at the same time, right, one case that is going, so many people are not talking about, but none of these record executives and very few industry people supported was this change in the law. Number one, there was a rally for victims in front of the New York, what do they call it? Is it City Hall? Right. And this was months ago, right? Or was it that far back? 8 months ago or something? I don't know. It's not that long ago. But the key thing here is that notice how many entertainers did not show up. And notice how no moguls showed up. And the civil suit was against Bambaataa, Afrika Bambaataa, kind of like the forerunner to Russell Simmons. And, the Zulu Nation was huge. You see what I mean? And a lot of these people from the Zulu Nation ended up in the music industry, whether they could be record execs, whether they could be managers, whether they could be DJs, whether they could be, the Zulu Nation was deep in hip hop before hip hop blew, and while hip hop blew, all the way into the 90s, 95, 96, all this time, even when Drew Dixon was there. You see what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself why none of these people are speaking about the Bambaataa case, because Bambaataa is alleged to have hundreds of photographs of young boys in New York City. Yes, in some book that he allegedly sexually assaulted. And his case is a case that is current right now also. It's a John Doe who filed the case. It's the only case where there is a male. The only case where a male steps up. So I'm going to let this play some more and then let's go.
Act in New York, she actually can sue him if he can't go to jail. If the statute of limitation of his sexual assault is over, he can't go to jail, and he's going to pay up her money. You expired Eminem head ass nigga, L.A. Reid.
Yo, Afro, cuz this is a small world, right? These folks got a small world going on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Dixon. She's a former Arista Records executive. She claims that L.A. Reid assaulted her 2 times in 2001, once on a private plane and the other one in his private car. And I believe her. That's why Russell Simmons got the hell out of town. L.A. Reid is now the CEO of Epic Records, so he probably will be stepping down soon. That nigga gonna file for bankruptcy. I always knew something was wrong with L.A. Reid since Justin Bieber came out. Y'all remember when Justin Bieber came out? L.A. Reid said, L.A. Reid remembers 14-year-old Justin Bieber was beautiful like a woman. L.A. Reid said that Justin Bieber's face was his star power and it was beautiful like a woman.
Think about this, y'all. Just think about this again. Notice how none of them is talking about Bambaataa. Notice that, right? But again, Bambaataa, I call him the forerunner, allegedly. He's been known to be the boy collector of hip hop, right? He's been known or allegedly heard of having books of hundreds of boys, young New Yorkers, young men that grew up and became part of the music industry. whether they be executives, managers, and things like this. And if you're aware, we're discussing what happened to Stewart, right? But just keep in mind, look at all of these people. Look at how they all interconnected. And then you see the bigger picture, and then you ask yourself, could Shakir Stewart kill himself? Could he do that? Would he just kill himself? Would Chris Lighty just kill himself? Would they kill themselves over money issues? Would they kill themselves over girlfriend, boyfriend rivalry with Puffy? Would they just kill themselves over some shit like this? Do you think that's the case? I'm just saying. What's up, Afro? Yeah, this rabbit hole deep, and it seems to be based around these weirdos trying to hide their their status, obsessions, crazy. Yeah, bro. I think so, man. I mean, I agree with that, and I think it is deeper than the LGBT thing, though. I think it's just straight up they use this stuff as some sort of cult practice to hold something over your head. Again, listen, check out what Mark Curry says. Let me go back to the interview with Mark Curry. What he says. Let me see here. Dancing with the devil. Now, this is the same interview where the question comes up about I don't know who he's referring to, but Mace is mentioned in the same interview. Shakir Stewart is mentioned in the same interview. Now check this out. Puffy is.
Then that's when a lot of things come in to play too, without me having to speak on other things.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody come to you and say, I'm gonna expose to your people everything that you've done to get this money. So then now you sitting there with you. Before I do that, I just want to take
this whole. You won't do anything.
You willing to do anything?
Damn you, Mark.
So, record deal. So then you got to look at it and be like, Mace, that comes to Puff that wants a record deal, automatically is willing to do anything that he got to do to have that deal because he asked them for a record deal. So then you got to look at it and be like, you know what? You willing to sell your soul for this shit right here.
And if you're willing to sell your soul, you won't do anything.
You willing to do anything.
Damn you, Mark Curry.
Like, for example,
please.
They might say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you $1 million. I'm going to give you $2 million. I'm going to give you $100 million. But before I do that, I just want to take a couple of pictures with you, with your shirt off and your pants off too. And then you be like, $100 million, shirt and no pants. Okay, that's what they be doing. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So then now, here go your $100 million. So then now you sitting there with your girl. She got the diamonds and the fur on. She look good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden you see somebody in the background flashing those pictures in that envelope at you like this, telling you to come in. We need to talk to you. You be like, wow, now you got me by the balls.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, now here's the thing. Again, when we hear about Casey's thing, what was she involved with? What is she involved with? Did they take pictures? Did they take video? You see what I'm saying? And where do you think he's just getting this for joys, like LGBT joys, or is it something else where he got this from? The extortion move. You see what I'm saying? The control move. Did he get it from someone else? Did he just invent it himself? I mean, ask yourself this. Would Bambaataa just bother to take hundreds? Let's say he just took hundreds of pictures of these little boys he allegedly been messing with, who grew up and got into the music industry later, right? Some of them, right? Many of them, right? Let's just say he did it for kicks, just for the pure sex of it, right? The joy of just, wow, look at this boy. I got a picture of him, right? Do you think those pictures could exist for a while? You know how many people saw those pictures? How many people do you think got access to those pictures and never thought in their head, I could extort one of these people? What's the likeliness of you? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and these people are all in a circle. They're all they're all in a small circle, man. You think nobody heard about those pictures from Bambaataa? You see what I'm saying? Like, folks got to connect the dots a little bit, but I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying, think about it, because I think folks got to open up their mind to get this one. Yeah, really. And yes, brother, she wrote that in the detailed statement. She did. They got photographs, video, taking videos, which is photographs, really, of her in these acts that they kept asking her to do. And here's the thing. This is not I don't even think Casey is even involved with Bad Boy at this time that Mark Curry is saying this. I don't think, not quite yet, no. You see what I'm saying? There's some years in between this. I believe, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure there is, of course, because Casey wasn't around in the, days that Mark Curry was there, man. Come on, Bad Boy wasn't at that point, you see? But yes, man. And some of the people have been responding really weird, and you'd be so surprised how people responding. But I mean, like I told you before, I am just that type of dude where my antennas go up when I'm around, how can I say this, around shady folk. I be peeping game and be real quiet and be peeping game, peeping how the eyes are looking, the eyes are moving in somebody's head, the body language, anything. I'm really like on that for some reason. And what I could say is that in my time in the music industry, I didn't have to see something to feel some sinisterness going on. You know what I'm saying? Like my antennas were up that far. Now, I didn't see so many things. I've heard some things, but what I could say is that there's a lot of people whose antennas don't go up that way, and they fall into stuff. There's some people you can ask them to do anything in the music industry, and they're so desperate they think they got to go along with it. I'm not that type of person. You see what I mean? So cats don't even come at me like that. You see what I mean? Because you could peep a dude just being real quiet and watching you too. So not to come. You see what I mean? That way, they kind of feel you out. They kind of know who they can kind of get on like that, And this shit, yeah, spider sense of this shit, definitely, man. Straight up, man. Yeah. But in any case, let me pivot back to this one and hear what the rest of this brother had to say, man. This is just some creepy shit here.
I always knew something was wrong with L.A. Reid since Justin Bieber came like a woman, and that was very rare. Was his star power, and it was L.A. Reid said that Justin Bieber's face was his star power, and it was beautiful like a woman. And
now look at this. Just keep this in mind here. Look, P Diddy, Justin Bieber. Look, Justin Bieber club. Look at this. Look at what's coming up if you just type this. Look at what's coming up. You see this? Remember? You think that's a coincidence? Y'all think that's a coincidence?
All right, what's good, everybody? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. We gotta talk about it. Odell Beckham. Look. Now, did y'all see that? Odell Beckham is leaning over, and I think Trey Songz is watching. Yep. Yeah, this is what they do, man. And this is out in the opening. You know what I'm saying? I believe this is a popular nightclub, but this is out in the opening, man. Where they do that at?
yet?
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow
All right.
down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion?
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy. And we gonna go full crazy. And we gonna go full. He's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours.
That's an interesting choice of words. Buck, full, yo. What's up, Tar? I mean, yo, I'm sorry, but people don't want to believe things. People don't want to believe things, and I'm just telling you, you could not tell me that there's not something sinister about Shakir Stewart and Chris Lighty's, timely demise. And I'm just saying they seem to be linked with some very interesting people. Think about this. How often does a record company exec just say, you know what, I'm just going to kill myself because of some problems. I'm just going to kill myself. How often does it happen? But it happened with these groups of individuals, though. That seems to be normal. That seems to be some shit that just happened, Exactly. Buck nasty, bro. Like, really, man. I'm just like, man, I don't know what to say. I don't think people have to really go that far. I mean, do we have to? I mean, I believe that it's true that Shakir Stewart has secrets about Puff Daddy and some other stuff, and whatever he's connected with, whatever he was doing. But yeah, I think that's just very true. I think it's very true that maybe he had something with his P Diddy's ex. You know what I'm saying? But I think whatever happened to him was about the information. The information. Just like people speculate about Kim Porter. I mean, just think about this. He allegedly, Stewart, was was dating Kim Porter, allegedly, and they're both dead. That's kind of weird, right? They got they have records with Puffy's, arguing about this, and Stewart's dead. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Doug Nasty. Yeah, let me play that one more time. And now listen to this. Just listen. Just listen. This whole thing is weird right here. Ain't there some grooming right here?
Yeah, so as soon as you turn,
It sounds like grooming to me.
16, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you rock this every time you
It's like testing him out to see how impressed he's going to be. So, to see how, showing him what he can get, giving him the gift first. Isn't that what Cassie said? before he was asked to do acts, before she was asked or told to do acts, she was always given a big prize and cash, big gifts and cash. And then also after she did the act. You see, now keep that in mind when you watch something like this.
But not yet.
No.
16.
Not ready.
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down.
One
Okay.
step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. When when you get 16, you good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
And where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full.
You know what,
full crazy.
You hear that?
I have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking.
You see his body language? You see Puffy's body language? You think that's normal? You think that's just like, what you think is there?
Go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours? Crazy. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
Tar, you know what this remind me of? The Nubian Golden Childs. That's what that reminds me of, bro. The Golden Child thing. Let me see here. Can I find that? Here we go. I think he's going to talk about this 2 seconds in this vid here by Layla Wills. Let me see. 2 seconds here.
The mental issues she had from being raised in a household like that, SEO, for most of the people in Bronx River. To tell you the truth, I never really liked school. Cleaned up his act. He's being a father when you're a strong figure, and just so now you find out that the uncle in the family dealing with the youth.
But you said there was a weight room. I had an office set up, man. Now, but he's like Bam's age. So you as a little kid going over there would see it totally different than what he's talking about. So describe what we're going to be over there. And this is going back to us in the studio, just in case, because we used just this footage. But you said there was a weight room. I don't know if you know about the office and the kitchen, if that was even in your purview or not. Who would be over there mixing in one room, like just describe what's going on.
Well, in 1609, you might see a little bit of everybody in there. You had everybody was there. You have celebrities coming.
He's talking about the people in Bambaata's place, the place where hundreds of young boys was getting molested. Listen to this.
Coming up in there. The kitchen was the office.
What's going on?
Well, in 1609, you might see a little bit of everybody in there. You had everybody was there. You have celebrities coming up in there. The kitchen was the office. The whole house was pretty much a hangout. Ahmed room was the room to the back. Bam room was to the back, but to the left. So their room was just like this. And the room next to the bed, when you come closer up, The first room was the weight room and the bathroom, but the kitchen was the office and in the living room. And pretty much when you go up there, you see everybody. Everybody was in Bam's house. It was the hangout spot. If it wasn't inside the center or in the middle of the circle, it was up in Bam's house. You would go to Bam's house and have a good time. You just better learn the ropes of when to get.
What did he just say? Have a good time, right? So Puffy's going to show this little kid, 15-year-old boy, a good time, right? Let's check it out.
The hell up. If it wasn't inside the center or in the middle of the circle, it was up in Bam's house. You would go to Bam's house and have a good time. You just better learn the ropes of when to get the hell up out of there.
Is that what happened? That some people knew when to get the hell out? Because I'm interested in Half Pint's story too. Would this have been the place where Half Pint would have gone to the bathroom and Bam came in there also?
Well, I think in Half Pint's the
What's up,
situation with
Marquise?
him, this is when Bam was in the building that's right across, in the other building, and where that pretty much happened. But from what I understand, what I know, Bronx River wasn't the only place. There was another place that I never mentioned about, which was over by Baychester, Mark Terrace, where Bam's mother used to live at. Bam was molesting people over there too.
Hey, Bissonette, please stop bouncing when you present.
Yeah, yep. Sounded
Do
familiar.
we know anything about his mom? I heard that he had an older brother that got killed. Do you know anything about that? And if you don't, it's fine.
No, I don't really know too much about his older brother, but I do know about his mother. I know very little about his mother. I've been to the apartment. I've seen her. It's been a long time since I've seen her. You know, last time I checked, she was working. I think she was working in a hospital, in a clinic, or whatever the case may be. But I don't really know too much about his mother. I've been around her, but I see you. She go in her room, and that's it. And that's up out of Mark Terrace. But in Mark Terrace, he was molesting kids over there too. So that was another building where he was back and forth between Bronx River and Mark Terrace molesting.
Let's go back to the 1609 apartment. Now, describe, if you don't mind, describe the scene again when you would be there with two of your other friends. You don't have to name friends.
Yeah, I remember being in 1609 in the weight room, me and some of my boys, and
Now, keep in mind, Hassan is like the same age when he's talking. I believe he's 16 years old when he's seeing this. Maybe younger, maybe 15 too.
we was lifting weights. Bam come in the room with the lemonades and the chips and stuff like that. And what stood out to us was the
Bam was showing them a good time, just like Puffy was showing Justin Bieber a good time. 48 hours, a good time.
episode. I just watched this episode too again with Dudley and Arnold from Different Strokes, and they was in the bike shop, and the guy in the bike shop was pretty much he was doing the Bambaataa thing. Rolled out first, he leaves the magazine laying around with the naked woman. The next thing you know, it's the porno. So now we in the weight room, and Bam is like pretty much he pulls out the Polaroid.
And you're how old?
I don't remember how old I was. So he pulls out the Polaroid and he starts taking pictures like, oh, y'all got some big muscles. You should take off your shirt. And we all hyped up, trying to figure out which one of us got the biggest muscles. And after a while, you could just see the lust in his face. And we brought up the situation that the Arnold and Dudley to each other with the Different Strokes and got creeped out. And, we decided to get dressed and slide up out of there and leave. So that day right there, we pretty much ducked him. But other days, he pretty much caught a lot of us. There was a time where, which wasn't a time. The things that Bam did, I can go so many directions with this. Like, for example, his book, The Black Book. You open up the Black Book, and every dude that you ever looked up to that was a strong figure in Bronx River was in that book with their pants down.
Vi har nået slutningen på årets mest vanvittige.
You hear that? That is, yeah.
How big is this book? I'm gonna have
He pretty much caught a lot of us. There was a time where chips and stuff like that, and what stood out to us was the episode. I just watched this episode too again. With Dudley and Arnold from Different Strokes, and they was in the bike shop, and the guy in the bike shop was pretty much he was doing the Bambaataa thing. Rolled out first. He leaves the magazine laying around with the naked woman. The next thing you know, it's the porno. So now we in the weight room, and Bam is like pretty much he pulls out the Polaroid.
And you're how old?
I don't remember how old I was. So he pulls out the Polaroid, and he starts taking pictures like, "Oh, y'all got some big muscles. You should take off your shirt." And we all hyped up, trying to figure out which one of us got the biggest muscles. And after a while, you could just
Justin Bieber has a beautiful face. That's his best attribute there. That's L.A. Reid for you.
see the lust in his face. And we brought up the situation that the Arnold and Dudley to each other with the Different Strokes, and got creeped out. And we decided to get dressed and slide up out of there and leave. So that day right there, we pretty much ducked him. But other days, he pretty much caught a lot of us. There was a time where, which wasn't a time. The things that Bam did, I can go so many directions with this. Like, for example, his book, The Black Book. You open up the Black Book, and every dude that you ever looked up to that was a strong figure in Bronx River was in that book with their pants down.
So this is why I refer back to Bambaataa, because you're not talking about just a couple of people here. You're talking about hundreds of people. And many of these people have been alleged to be in the music industry in different capacity. Some way, somehow. People that you would still recognize while you're watching your YouTube videos today if you saw them. But because they're not being mentioned, you don't know that that's them. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep it going.
How big is this book? I'm gonna show a drawing of the book, like a recreation of the book. So is it like a photo album book, or is it like this kind of size book, or like what size?
It's a thick book, but he has a few of them. It's not just one book.
It's not just one.
Yeah,
book.
he has a few books,
Okay.
and it's pretty
and you
much
just turn the page like all old time photo albums.
It's pretty much a book with a lot of photos. That's
Polaroid
like what people don't understand. What I look at people, and I be having conversations with them, not even saying to them, "I seen you in that book." And this is why you hear like so many people in Bronx River have a problem with me that they never gonna say. Behind the scenes, they gonna talk. I seen you. They know they're in the book. They remember the flashes, the cameras. He got cha-ching. He got the money shot. So with Bam being in 1609, you might go up in there, and there was times where when you look at the book, when Bam first broke me in, it was the book. It was I remember him sitting up there telling me that you're supposed to masturbate. It's okay. You're supposed to watch porn. And I'm really thinking to myself, like, here we go again, because this wasn't the first time I was molested, but it's like, it's creepy. Then you have Bam in there making you like there's been times he made me actually watch him give oral sex to dudes that's still around in Zulu right now. They know who they in there making you like there's been times he made me actually watch him give oral sex to dudes that's still around in Zulu right now. They know who they are. I would have to actually stand there and watch this shit. And there was quite a few of them. It wasn't just one of them. It was quite a few of them. But even still, when you sit back and you analyze them, now they were 10 years, some of them was 10 years older than me, which Bam was still older than them. So you would deal with him with the oral sex. One of the things that stood out the most to me, or that it was like one time it was me and another brother. I don't want to mention his name. He just came home. He actually just came home from murder, like maybe about a few years back or whatever the case. Bam had all three of us in his room with porno on, with a jar of Vaseline, with our pants down, stroking all three of us, basically trying to make us masturbate in the room with him. Because, you know, that's his thing. You're supposed to masturbate. This is what boys are supposed to do. And in his house.
Now, you see, there's another attitude here. There's a group of people. This is a group of people. You see, this is not one-on-one. This is like a group activity. You see, so yeah, this is just getting insane. And you know, but yeah, I don't know what to say, but you know, yeah, y'all, let me drop the link, man. Todd, yo, help me out here. But there's something else that I'm looking for here. And let me pull this up so people can get an idea of what we're talking about. It might seem, you know, like some of these things are loosely knitted together, and maybe they are, but check this out. Now, let's move forward, because see, now Bambaataa, he got his little weird shit from Dr. York, right? He was, you know, he picked these pieces up from Dr. York. This is what is alleged. This is what people say. And Dr. York is the biggest, the United States of America's biggest pedophile that's ever been convicted. And he was prominently known in Brooklyn. He was a popular black, you could say, cult leader, right? And so Brooklyn, you know, is where Biggie Smalls is from.
Mr. York, how you doing, sir?
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I am good. I was actually singing your praises before.
Now, this is Dr. York's son. So the biggest pedophile in the United States of America, and if I'm wrong, tell me, this is his son. You see? That's his son. Now listen.
You got on just telling people a little bit about you, saying how you helped me out throughout my career, and I've learned a lot from you. So I've been looking forward to this conversation.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man.
I'm not good at these interviews, so you know.
Oh, it's all
take
good.
Your time with me. You know? My anxiety kicks in.
We just gonna have a regular conversation like we always do, but
yes.
Just to give the people a little bit of background. I mean, you've managed everybody from Biggie, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Cameron, produced countless conversation like we always do, but
yes.
Just to give the people a little bit of background. I mean, you've managed everybody from Biggie, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Cameron. The people gonna have a regular conversation like we always do, but
yes.
Just to give the people a little bit of background. I mean, you've managed everybody from Biggie, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Cameron, produced countless films, worked with, consulted, and started your own labels. Plus, again, you're one of the smartest people that I personally know.
So this guy knows Puffy. It's safe to say he knows Puffy. How can you know every damn artist that Puffy was down with, and you don't know this guy? So remember we talking about these degrees of separation? That's only one degree of separation. That may not even be a degree of separation, because if he knows him directly, then there is no separation. If he knows them indirectly, then there's only one degree of separation. Only one. Only one. And one is not a lot when you're talking about this kind of stuff, but or in business or anything like that, personal or business. 1 degree of separation is not a lie. But to be clear, that's if you only believe Puffy does not know this guy personally. So
in the industry, obviously 2020 has been a very wild year.
Very interesting year.
Very interesting year.
Very
yes.
interesting.
But
like I put up a meme about 2020, like 2000 to 2019. That's the textbook, and 2020 the textbook's like this thick.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that one.
That,
I saw that one, man. I've been following you. I've been following you for a while, but through this pandemic, I've been getting a lot of good memes and knowledge and information from you as well. But before everything got a little crazy, what were you working on?
A couple of TV shows. Obviously, we were working on a few TV shows. I was rolling out some new talent. Obviously working on the, with Cam on the Paid in Full TV show. It's not a sequel, it's a TV show.
Yep.
And obviously the Cam documentary was coming, you know, Fulton Street,
Mm.
the story. Also, they were doing, me
Hey,
and others doing
Andre.
together as a scripted TV show, which is based on the real behind the scenes of what happened within that
Good day.
1988 to 2005, you know, Biggie story,
Yeah.
the Mafia, everything behind that, the Fulton Street streets. So we're working on that. Real behind the scenes of what happened within that 1988 to 2005, you know,
1988 to 2005.
Biggie story,
Yeah.
the Mafia, everything behind that, the Fulton Street streets. So we're working on that. A couple of additional documentaries, a couple of movies, you know, an infrastructure project here in Atlanta, another project. It's just stuff, you know, it's just like you spinning. And what's funny about it is everything kind of, weirdly enough, the pandemic affected everything but, you know, specific, you know, things, which was interesting to me because it just kind of like derailed all the tours and get rid of like the whole entertainment side of the business.
Right. We don't need it. It's just to establish that. We don't need much more. But this is Dr. York's son, who happened to be in the music industry. Dr. York is the United States of America's largest, most prolific pedophile. Let me see here. Let me just pivot over to here so you can see what I'm talking about here again. Dr. York, Dwight York, right? This is the guy's father right here. Dwight D. York, also known as Malachi Z. York, is an American criminal, black supremacist, pedophile, convicted child molester, musician, and writer, best known as the founding leader of several black Muslim groups in New York. Most notably, the Nuwaubian Nation, a black supremacist new religious movement that has existed in some form since the 1960s. You know what? Let me control F here. Bam. Ba. You know what? Zulu, it's so funny how you don't see any connection. Yo, Tar, what's up with this, bro? What is it, man? Lately, I haven't. It seemed like the internet. There's no links to the relationship between Afrika Bambaataa, who Hassan Campbell was just talking about, and Dr. York. Why is that, man? There used to be loads of links about these two, man. Let me see something here. And I had the same problem yesterday, trying to find some images about this guy. Let me go back. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Let me go here. Let me see. Is there nothing in here about the zoo? Oh, I know what it is. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Universal? No, it's not. It's not that. It's not there. Let me see. Let me go back here. And Dwight York. Wait, it says it here, but for some reason I don't see it. Okay, I see. Now maybe this is it. Universal. There we go. You see? So, and let me go to the next one. Right. Okay. Now it says there's only two. Now there's only two lists. Now let me see if I do this. There we go. You see this influences upon hip hop. As Dr. York, the movement leader, was a vocalist and music producer in Brooklyn before he left the area. During this time, his Nuwaubian teachings affected hip hop and black culture in New York. Journalist Adam Heimlich of the New York Press suggested the following were influenced by Dr. York: Jazzo, Dougie Fresh, and Afrika Bambaataa. But this is more than influence. Yeah, we read this yesterday. Pasta News, De La Soul, Prodigy. But the thing about it is that with Bambaataa, this is more than influence. This is more than influence. You got to understand, Bambaataa is practicing things and how he's molesting these kids. And the thing that he's doing, some of this is coming straight up from the Nuwaubian Nation, you see, or Dr. York specifically. Some of these beliefs, like when you hear Bambaataa talking about giving oral sex to men, you see what I mean? And when you hear, I don't know if you knew this, but let me see. Let me go to it. Let me click over here. Go back to it now. Did Dr. York molest boys? You see? Accused of grooming members for sex. Former, can y'all see this? Let me make sure. Y'all seeing this? Let me double check. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna make it a little larger, the text, for those that want to read themselves. All right. Former members of the so-called Nuwaubian cult told jurors at a trial of their former spiritual leader that he groomed them for sex when they were just young girls. Okay, this is talking about the girls. Okay. As the trial of Malachi York got underway this week, a series of former, what's the date for record? This is 2004. Now, obviously, Bad Boy is already kicked off, y'all. Bad Boy is already having success. You see what I'm saying? Bad Boy is already big at this time. So, just to keep that in mind. As a trial of Malachi York got underway this week, a series of former female cult members shared the disturbing allegations of molestation. Let me see here. Control F. See, York, once a Muslim cleric in Brooklyn, is on trial for molesting up to 13 girls and boys and bringing them to the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors compound. That's sex trafficking. Again, that's another thing that Puff Daddy is being accused of, moving people around for sex, right? Bambaataa, moving people around for sex. He's also, that's what his current civil case is about in court right now. They're waiting the verdict on it. He's charged with sex trafficking, Bambaataa, and sexual assault. York got 13 federal counts of child molestation and racketeering, but using the power as a leader of the Nuwaubians have sex with children between the ages of 5 and 17. You see? So, 5 and 17. That is, that's horrible. That's horrible. That is horrible. So now, let me do one last thing here. Let me see. Go back to Poppy. See what he says here. Oh, am I in the right area here? Let me go to YouTube. Oh no, I could just go back. Sorry. Here we go.
Yeah.
Project is.
Typical day in your, not in your household, but a typical day, how you would end up at Bambaataa's house? Like, was it school? Like, would it be like summertime, or
this is Ahmed's room? This is Bam room. Just that
culture going on around him? You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not old as Lord Sharif, where he could say, "Oh, I was there when this started and when that started." When you become 12 years old, it's already a lot of stuff going on. So when you're at the apartment with your friends
and he would start trying to break you all in and grooming you and making you more comfortable, starting with the pictures. Then what would happen? And when you say Bam's house, are you talking about his house at that point, or is this the apartment where he lived with Ahmed?
This is the apartment where he lived with Ahmed.
And so where would he be when these pictures are being taken?
A lot of the times Ahmed would be right, like, this is Ahmed's room, this is Bam's room, just that close. You really like, you just, I mean, he's right here, not even 3 feet away. So Ahmed would be in the next room, even though, you know, me and Ahmed had a talk and he tried to tell me that, you know, most of the time I wasn't there. There's times he wasn't there, and there's times he was there. I don't care what he said, he knew what was going on. He was never, the one thing I will say on his behalf, he was never in the room when any of this was going on, but he was there.
You know, another problem that I really, like, I have many problems with this whole thing. Another problem that I have would be how I'm not sure if you said it, but definitely Savage and then another person were talking about another, like he would bring another man in the room and then another man came. So it's like, how many people, you don't have to name names, do you think was taking part in this? Other adults, other people. And when I say adult, I mean 17 and over, where they could be charged as an adult. Like adults were participating in this, not just Bambaataa. How many do you think it was?
I can't really give you an actual number, but it was more than enough. You see what I'm saying? I would say in New York, Bam had at least about a good 30 brothers that knew exactly what he was doing, that took place in what he was doing. No exaggerating, maybe more than that.
But they also took part in it too.
That was taking part. See, I won't say about 30 of them took part with me. I won't say that. But from what I've seen and being in that house, it was quite enough of them. More than enough. More than enough of them knew what was going on with him.
Without going, I mean, well, you can go there if you wanted to, because I'm trying to see what did you go through, if you even remember being so young, what kind of changes did you go through after this experience with him, you know, around the first few 1-2 times? Do you remember if you had any changes that your mom may have been able to pick up on, or anybody else?
Me going through what I went through with Bam, see, what people don't understand is I was already broken in before I got to Bam. I was being molested before Bam even got to me. So it was like, I couldn't really go talk to my mother about it. I didn't know how to talk to her about it. So I just kept it to myself. And the signs probably was there, the bed wetting, because I pretty much was wetting the bed, all types of stuff was going on with me. But going to my mother and actually saying that to her, the first thing you're thinking about is, all right, I'm going to tell my mother that Bam is molesting me and he has an army around him. There's nothing. My family claims to be tough and they're fighters, but they're no Zulu Nation. Nowhere near it. So for me to even go to my mother and say, hey, this is what's going on, it's not, you know, that's not something I was going to do. It's not going to happen.
Okay, let's talk about the Zulu Nation and as an army and that kind of thing. Now, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the projects. So I'm not getting it. Like, I don't get it. So you have a person who everybody is, you know, I love how everybody's like, oh, I heard these rumors for decades. I love how everybody's saying it. So you have this person who is rumored to be not only just a closeted homosexual, but he is actually making outward passes at other young men or whatever. I'm not sure, you know, so far I haven't heard anybody admit to, I've heard rumors of him being a child molester for decades. They've only said they've heard rumors of him being gay. So so he would surround himself with these hardcore brothers. So where did that leave the rest of the people in the projects who are not in the Zulu Nation? So they're just like, I can't understand why nobody put a stop to this. Like, even people in the Zulu, like, he couldn't have been getting paid that much. Like, they couldn't have been eating that fat off of him.
Here's the thing with the Zulu Nation. For one, most of the Zulu Nation, I'm not going to say he got everybody, but he got damn near everybody. Most of the Zulu Nation went through their phases of being molested by Bam. You know, you'll have some dudes talking about, oh, that's a lie. Well, like I said, if he didn't touch you, he wasn't attracted to him, or he wasn't attracted to you, rather. And there was stories I've heard of people trying to tell on Bam and disappearing.
Sound familiar? Sound familiar? I'm gonna end it on this, folks. You know, I'm just saying. You know, to me, a lot of this stuff seems like the same thing going over, you know, same type of mixture of elements, the same exact components, you know. A lot of people didn't want to tell, you know, Zulu Nation was a big, you could say gang, but it was also hip hop organization. It was a hip hop organization. It was a way for kids to get involved in hip hop, to become rappers, to become you know, successful in the industry. It was an inlet, an inroad into the industry, most definitely. Bambaataa is one of the most has one of the most one big hit in hip hop, early hip hop, bigger hit. Russell Simmons knows this hit. Sean Puffy Combs knows this hit. Chris Lighty knows this hit. Shakir Stewart knows this hit. L.A. Reid knows this hit. Lyle Cohen knows who Bambaataa is. They all know about it. They all have heard Poppy talk about this book. Now, there's been rumors about this book. He's got several books of dudes in it, young boys in it, right? Not just one, not just two. You heard him say it's many. It's many, four more, maybe four books like that, right? I forgot that part. But what's the likeliness that none of them heard anything about these books? And I'm not talking about just now, and I'm not talking about when this interview was done. I'm talking about before that. Before that. What do you think the likeliness is? Let's say 10, because these books, this is going back 20, 30, 20 something years, 25 years. You know, let me see something just to do a little bit of dating for y'all real quick. Just to give you, you know, to paint the picture here. Let me see something. There we go. Okay. 2 seconds. I'm coming. Okay. Hassan Campbell is listed at Money Pro Max at being 47 years old. So if you minus 16, that's you know, what is that? That's 31 years ago, right? Am I right about that? It's roughly 31 years ago we're talking about. You see? So when he's talking about these books, that could be from, you know, 31 to what, 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And let me date that again. Let me see something here. Let me see. So that would be, let's see, what year would that be? Hold on. Right. And 2 seconds. I'm almost back. I just wanted to do one more calculation here. Right. And guess what happens? 31 years ago. Well, Bad Boy Records came into existence exactly 30 years ago, pretty much. You see what I mean? So we're talking about this timeline here, this same type of emergence. Now you already see that Dr. York's son managed a lot of Bad Boy Records artists, right? Dr. York is the most prolific pedophile and the child molester in the United States history. You're already seeing that you should know that Afrika Bambaataa, the person he's talking about here, Hassan is talking about, was learned and follows a lot of the teachings of the United States' largest pedophile molester, right? And this is the guy he's talking about, right? Who's the leader of the Zulu Nation, right? Who's like a huge hip hop icon in New York City. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And we heard a lot of other similarities. We heard, Cassie taking pictures, playing part in these rituals together with people while videos being taped, right? We heard about, what else? We heard about suicides. Like Hassan Campbell said, well, his experience is that the reality is that if you messed around with Bambaataa back then, you could come up missing. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that and you look at like things like the mystery of Shakir Stewart's death, untimely death, which is unexplained, by the way. People haven't even explained it. He just, wasn't feeling good, was kind of acting funny for a month or so, right? While his friends say, no, there's no way that he killed himself. You heard Chris Lighty. They put out this story about Chris Lighty. Oh, he was feeling depressed, and his own wife said, no, that's not true. And all his friends disputed that. He was not depressed. And the police report is allegedly he killed himself. All of this is, you just, Any case, folks, I'm out. I hope I was entertaining enough for you today. I hope I'm making folks think a little bit. And, again, this is just a conspiracy, right? It's just a conspiracy. I don't often go for conspiracy theories, but it's just a conspiracy theory. It doesn't have to all be factual. It doesn't all have to be accurate. It's just a theory, Oh my goodness. Don't float too far. Birds of a feather flock together, though. Birds of a feather flock together, Andrea. You know what I'm saying? On that note, hope everybody has a good evening. I hope everybody have a good weekend. And I'm gonna be back at y'all soon. Thanks a lot for joining me. Yo, Tar, good to see you, bro. A bit tired. Donnie, as usual, good to see you all here. We got to get up and rap some more. Y'all be good. All righty. Okay. Peace. Blessings.